Am I the asshole for telling my husband he needs to draw clear lines with the mother for his child? Not the asshole, but they need a formal agreement as to parenting and payment of expenses. If she can't afford the school the child has been going to, then the child can go to public school. He should not be paying for her vacations with mom. That is for mom to pay for, or she can leave the child home with him while she goes. This isn't a draw clear lines, it is get a formal agreement and hold her to it. She can't pay her half of the home, then sell the home and she can figure out her place to live. Not the asshole. She suddenly can't pay for childcare expenses right after a 2-week international vacation. Ex-girlfriend has decided to try to squeeze as much money as she can get out of your husband. Not the asshole. If mom can't afford to pay, maybe she shouldn't be going on fancy trips and sending her daughter to a private school. Not the asshole. It does sound like a more formalized child support system needs to be put in place. However, if they've always had a great co-parenting relationship and this is a newer development, perhaps he should go to her as a friend and ask her what's up and what has changed for her financially. Do they have a court-mandated or legal custody child support agreement? If not, it sounds like they need one, or else she's likely to keep pulling this crap in the future. My sticking point in all of on earth, would he pay anything for a 2-week international vacation that he was not attending? He very much needs to get a court order stating exactly how much he has to pay for anything. Mom needs to figure her own finances out. I say this as a single mom. Not the asshole. Ex is basically making him pay for the trip without saying the money was for it. By using money she should have paid for rent tuition she needs him to cover. So in the end he's paying for the trip the daughter went on. I wouldn't be happy if you have make up the gap. There shouldn't be a gap. The trip made the gap. Not the asshole. Seems like the ex is milking him every chance she gets and is beginning to take advantage of him. Furthermore, this is putting you and him at odds, which is not healthy for your marriage. If court-ordered papers are not already in place, then perhaps talking to an attorney regarding child custody could help your situation. He would not be on the hook for 50 or 100% of the costs to take care of his daughter. This certainly is not the solution for everyone, but it is a possible path if papers are not already in place. It can be traumatic for the child also to go through it, so keep that in mind as well. This is why you have lawyers. There's a formula they follow based on many factors, and then maybe one of the parents has to pay or it's 50-50. But your husband is being taken advantage of, and I bet it's because the ex feels your income means it'll benefit her too. I don't blame you for being upset. Sit down with the husband and get this straightened out, or else this will be your life. Not the asshole. Does mom know you want to have a baby? She may be doing this because of that. Not the asshole. She's doing it on purpose. Info: is there a custody agreement and child support? When it comes to finances, do they both make equal amounts, or does one person make significantly less? Not the asshole. 2-week-long international trip, and can't cover kids' tuition. Sorry, the math ain't mathing. He has every right and reason to ask her why she's asking him to pitch in more than previously. If he's not pressing her, and then telling you you need to hold off on your own future family planning, that's a problem. Not the asshole. Not being able to pay for basic expenses like school and household goods after a 2-week vacation is awfully suspicious. He needs to dig a little deeper into what's going on. Did she lose her job? Blow the money on something unnecessary? Need a major repair for a car or house expense? Or is she just not interested in splitting expenses evenly and fairly anymore? Not the asshole. Sounds like ex has decided that there are 2 incomes in your household now, so she wants more money. Time to go the formal route and get it all made legal. She is taking advantage. You should not have to put your plans on hold due to her greed. Several people here have asked what the custody situation looks like even if there is no formal agreement, who has her most of the time. If it's truly a 50-50 custody arrangement, that's one thing, But if her mom has her more often, then both of them contributing 50-50 financially is not fair to the mom. I certainly don't think he needs to be financing his ex's vacation, but otherwise I think it makes sense to have a formal agreement since he is now married to you. You really need to rethink this relationship. You will never get to have the child you want and he will always put the ex above you. Maybe it's time to move on and find someone who wants to have children with you. He is not it. It's not wrong for him to want to support his child, but he does not have to support his ex. Maybe a trial separation to see how he wants to proceed, and if he does not want to have a life with you, then you need to move on. Don't waste another 5 years hoping he will come to terms with what you want also. Info: does your husband have a legally binding agreement on child support and custody? Because he needs one. It sounds to me like the ex decided that since he got married, he has more money, assuming you have a job, so she wants more money. That's not how child support works. He is not responsible for the ex's vacations. The ex is not responsible for his vacations. If the ex can't afford to take her child, she should make arrangements for the child to be with someone, preferably the other parent, or be not go on vacation. See a lawyer ASAP. And this needs to be nipped in the butt ASAP, or it's going to have a very damaging effect on your relationship. Also, if she can't afford her part of the tuition anymore, his daughter doesn't need to be going there. Where were your kids going to go? Unfortunately, it looks like you will be getting that baggage you didn't want. So they have always had a great co-parenting relationship? Is she trying to sabotage your relationship? Or has he always helped her this much? He sounds like a good pushover. Will she pay for half of daughter's expenses if you and he go on a vacation? Of course not. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but co-parenting without a court-ordered agreement is a mess. Been there, doing that. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have married my husband until he got one. And it only gets worse when you have kids. She had money for an international vacation but now can't afford her kid. Yeah, okay. If he's 50-50 with no divorce agreement, he likely won't pay anything above agreed upon expenses. It's worth the court fee, and your sanity when BM can't pull this crap anymore. You and him need to sit down and figure this out, because you shouldn't be putting your family on hold because of his ex. You and him need to go to court and get this ironed out and put this all in writing so you can budget for your child. This dynamic is going to create resentment for you. This is exactly how these posts go. 1. I have always had firm boundaries about the people I would start a relationship with and their lifestyles. 2. I made an exception for this person and now I am unhappy with my circumstances. What should I do? Not the asshole. I would never expect my ex to pay for anything on vacation I took our kids on. That's not how that works. Not the asshole, but I suggest you see the writing on the wall and get out. There are going to be problems from here on out. Remember, you told yourself to never marry a man with children? You were right from the get-go. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. But you are married to an idiot. Mom wants to go on vacation with daughter. She pays for daughter 100, period. Dad, you and daughter go on vacation? Dad pays for daughter 100. Now that you're married, your income might be considered as part of child support depending on state. FYI, particularly if you file taxes together, lawyer up and get answers. Time to get a financial order in place. Ex is going to bleed him dry. Not the asshole. UDH needs to talk to his ex and tell her they have a court support plan. He will go back to court if need be, in case his ex's finance have changed. This shouldn't be just because she says so. He needs to do what's in the best interest of his daughter, but his ex has to do her share as well. Where has his ex's dollar gone to? Job loss just. Info: do they have a court order agreement on custody and child support? There is nothing wrong with you that you have to settle for someone else's discards. Find a man who is 100% yours.